welcome. Today we're gonna talk about the Beijing subway system. Right, let me put my audio up. Okay. And then, so to sort of say again or reiterate, there are 29 operating lines, including the Capital Airport Express and Daxing Airport Express, which is this one that runs south of to the south of the city, and this one which runs to the northeast of the city. This is the Capital Airport Express, and then this is the Daxing Airport Express, where the Daxing Airport is here. And then the operating mileage is 879 kilometers, and then it ranks first in the country. And then there are 420 stations, and then 99 are transfer stations. And then the passenger volume in 2024 reached 3.619 billion, and then which is the daily average of 9.88 million people, and then that is more than the population of New York City. And so the record for the single day of traffic was 13.75 million passengers, and then it was achieved in July 12th of 2019. And then the highest operating speed is 110 kilometers per hour on the Airport Express, and then most urban lines operate at 80 to 100 kilometers an hour. And then, so we're gonna start with, this is called the Xijiao line, Xijiao Xian, and then it means it's the slightly rural area in the west, the line for that kind of area. And so it is the first modern tram line operated by Beijing Public Transport, and then it was opened on December 30th of 2017, and its line color is vermilion. It starts at Bago Station and connects Fragrant Hills. Wait, let me pull it up here. It connects Fragrant Hills, which is Xiangshan. Xiang meaning fragrant, and then Shan is like hill or mountain. And it connects the China National Botanical Garden, which is this. It's like the National Botanical Garden. And then Yuquan Countryside Park, which is around some of these one of these stations. And then the Summer Palace, which is this Yiheyuan, being the Summer Palace. And then it's an east and west line, so west to east or east to west. And then here's the clip of the train. And then this is a shot of the interior, and then so it's a running light system, and then it shows which doors are open, and then using the lights they can tell which stations have already passed. This is common in most of the subways, but now some have been refurbished with screens, and then it's more high tech, and you can display more stuff on it. And this is sort of a view of the sort of the countryside, the rural areas. You can see the mountains, and then it isn't quite the Beijing sort of metropolis style.
请乘客不要手扶或倚靠车门，以免造成车门无法正常关闭，发生危险。欢迎乘坐北京六会列车西郊线，本次列车开往香山方向。 位站给有需要的人士，谢谢合作。Welcome to take the West Southern Line of Beijing Rail Transit. The final destination is Bradford Hills. 请乘客不要手扶或倚靠车门，以免造成。
And so this is the botanical garden of China, and then it is some basic information is that it is covers a total planned area of nearly 600 hectares, and then with about 300 hectares currently open to the public. So there are some research facilities which we can't go to, but they're open to sort of like parks, and then which we can go to. And so it's China's first national botanical garden, and is serving as a center for both plant conservation and a key research platform for plant science.
车轮无法正常关闭，发生危险。站，国家植物园，请刚上车的乘客往中间走。为保持车内环境，请勿饮食，严禁吸烟。
And they have these little sort of brick. These are fridge stickers, but they made it to represent some Beijing landmarks, like the Tiananmen, and then the Great Wall, and there's this is a Buddhist sort of temple. There's the Forbidden City. It's like the building that separates between the moat and the city itself. This is the angle building, and this is the Temple of Heaven. And then some other sort of souvenirs. And then this is the train that you just saw back there, and this is cartoonized, so it is it's like a mascot. Yeah. Oh yeah, so those are corner towers. Yeah, good one. And so we're gonna talk about Line 6 right now. Line 6 is the 15th subway line to open in Beijing. And then there's gonna be a few cuts where the screen dips black, and then so it's gonna signify a sort of a station transition, because we're gonna show like 3 stations on line sort of line 6. Yeah. And then so this is called 苹果园 station, which is this one here. 苹果园. 苹果 means apple, and then yuan is like a garden and an orchard. And then so the background behind this is that legend has it that during the Ming Dynasty, a eunuch surnamed Liu, wanting a place to settle after leaving the palace, bought over 100 acres of land here and planted various fruit trees. And due to the local soil and water, apple trees thrived the best. And so while others did not bear well, over time the fruit trees were replaced with apples. And the area became known as Apple Orchard or Apple Garden, because it only grows apples. And then the station is named accordingly because it's in the same general area. And so here's some of the station art. You can see some of the agriculture stuff, and then, yeah. Yeah, one thing to point out is how they connected, they added this sort of banner and then made it so seamless sort of with the art. You can see the guys leaning here, and then I think the girl's stretching by this, and then it's quite a seamless sort of input. You can see here as well, the sort of the banner is sort of engraved into this trucks as like their container, as a cargo stuff. As I don't know exactly what that's called, but they put it here perfectly. And in this fire hydrant box is like the two people are carrying this box, and then they're trying to lift it up. So that's quite a nice blend as well. So this is another station now, and we are at Tiancun. This station here, Tiancun, and a Tian is like, it can be a surname, it can be an agricultural term, which is, it means sort of crop field, and then the Cun is a town or village. And then, so this piece of artwork, you guys can first look at it, and then I'll tell the sort of the background or the what inspired it to look like this. Okay, so I think I'll pause it right here, and then the featured artworks is like these two are sort of a formation, and then these two are tied together. These are the this one is called Vast Desert Silky Rain, and then if you translate it directly from Chinese, and then it's called 大漠丝雨. 大漠 is like a big desert, and then 丝雨 is like silky or like just not abundant rain. And then the blue one there is blossoms over the sea. Translate directly. And then they reflect the legacy of the Silk Road, both the land and maritime routes, and then their historical role in the East-West exchange. And so the art uses elements like the Dunhuang murals, and which is these ones, and the grand treasure ships, which is like that. And they show the pots and vases, and then it's pretty, and then symbolizing the ambition to revive this cultural spirit in the modern Belt and Road Initiative. And then, yeah. And in the same station, and if you go to the sort of the station floor, it's like the entrance floor, you can see some more art pieces. Yes, the platform. Yeah, the platform is the word. And then, yeah, so this is a sort of a jungle-ish vibe, and with a modern colors and modern spin. So it looks very elegant because of the light tones used, and the darkest tone probably is the blue or like the gray, but that's a neutral tone. But it looks very nice. And they also have this setting for the crossing way leading around the station. This is like this looks similar to a fishbone, and then yeah. This is our last station for line 6, and then this is called. Oh wait, this is our second to last station, and then. Oh, hold up. Oh yeah, we have a few more. Lol. Okay, so this is our last sort of video form for for line 6. You will see what I mean in a few seconds, and then so this is called Nanluo Guxiang, which is like the south alley of the sort of the drums and sort of tambourines, or the percussion instruments. So this is quite famous, and then quite a sort of tourist destination. And then in future videos, I'm gonna cover this as like this place specifically. And then, but inside there is sort of it's a walkway, and there's all kinds of food, and then all kinds of things to do. You can see that's the marker for the alley itself, or the street itself, and then beside it is the station. So this is the street itself, and it's written because in old Chinese you read from the right to the left, so it's Nan Luo Gu Xiang. And then the station is just by it. Okay. And then so we're gonna cover line 6, and these photos are courtesy of my mom. But and then these are some more sort of art in the line 6 stations. And then so the first we're gonna look at is this place. It's called Ping'anli, which is the sort of the valley of peace or tranquility. It is located here. These three words, Ping An Li. Ping An means peace, sort of. And then you can see the art. And then the mural is called Peace in All Seasons, and then it is on the concourse wall. It incorporates traditional Chinese auspicious motifs like screen walls and doorways, aligning with Beijing's courtyard culture and combining modern and traditional craftsmanship for a vibrant yet grounded visual. So you can see some of these close-ups. You can see it's like the elements going around this character is called like fortune and then blessings, and it has good meaning in China. And there are these peony flowers, and then Chinese architecture in general. You can see the two words Ping An is inscribed on the wall, and the fish and then the sort of the vase. And then within the station I just showed, the Nanluo Guxiang station, there are these sort of relief art, and you can see the name of the street is on the wall. These are shot quite a long time ago, from 2022, or like some even older, like this one, 2014, as the same station as the Ping'anli. And then so another station is Yangzhuang. This one, you can see this is quite a modern look, and then it's got the Alice in Wonderland, Wizard of Oz kind of feel to it. And so it is located in central Shijingshan district, and then it was formerly young families village, although no young families were long-time residents. And so in 2005, during construction, a tomb inscription for Yang Xiangmin, which is a Yuan dynasty official, was discovered, confirming the origin of the village name. It was named after him because he was buried here. You can see some of the art, and this is like a Van Gogh style painting of Chinese architecture. Yeah, and then some more Van Gogh style stuff. And there's also more of Yangzhuang here, and then these are more to the realistic side, and then of the neighboring area. The inside of the scene. This is like the octopus sort of tentacles. And then there's also Beihai, which is like the north of Beihai, which is the north of the north station of the Northern Sea. I mean, if you translate it directly. But this is a tourist attraction, and there's this white temple, and then it's quite pretty. And then they have this huge mural, and we have to shoot it in panorama to capture all of it. Okay. And then I guess that's it for line 6. And so we're gonna talk about line S1, and this is the medium low speed maglev line. So this is a maglev train, and it is the first of its kind, which is a maglev in Beijing and the second in China. The first one, if I remember correctly, is in either Shanghai or Chongqing. I don't know. We have to fact check that. Oh yeah, you can see the characters on top of the train. It's called Beijing maglev. Cifu is like magnetic, and then fu is like levitation, and then some maglev is like magnetic levitation. And you can see the rail changes here. So this sort of is like a funnel system, and then it separates the trains going from here, and then makes them go here, and then they can sort of recycle the trains this way. some of the onboard stuff here.
地铁大字地铁列车，本次列车终点站是石场，下一站金安桥。换乘地铁6号线、11号线的乘客，请准备下车。Welcome to North East Loop. This train is bound for 石场。The next station is 金安桥。Change here on 6, 9, and 11. 乘客您好，为了给您提供舒适乘车环境，列车运行方向请2节和最后2节为强冷车厢，中间2节为热冷车厢。您可根据自身需求选择车厢乘坐。感谢您的配合。为您和他人的健康安全，建议您在乘坐公共交通工具出行时佩戴好口罩。乘客您好，为确保您和他人的乘车安全，请勿在车厢内使用自带仪等。感谢。
And some more. This place is called Shougang, which is like capital steel sort of. It sounds very Andrew Carnegie, but no. And then this is an old sort of abandoned factory, and they renovated it to be modern, and they can host events, and then it's sort of like a park, and then you could enjoy yourself.
下一站四道桥。The next station is 四道桥。为了您和他人的健康安全，建议您在乘坐公共交通工具出行时佩戴好口罩。乘客您好，为确保您和他人的乘车安全，请勿在车厢内使用自带仪等。感谢您的理解和支持。Dear passengers, for road safety.
Oh, I forgot to point out as well that in future streams, probably we're gonna do one of this place especially as well. So yeah, looking bright, and then more exciting content. But next week we are not streaming, and then it's gonna be a pause week, and then it will resume as normal after that.
Please do not use your chairs for students in carriage. Thank you for your understanding.
So they converted these old sort of chambers into office buildings, and then so they're currently housed by the Shougang Fund, which is like a economic thing. And this place was also the host of the Beijing 2022 Olympic Winter Games, and you can see some of the remnants of the Winter Games. In another angle. I think it's covered by this building, but behind it you can see there's a big jump pad, and then these Olympic sports equipment. This is a common accent shared by all of the stations, like this leaves sort of accent, and then some complimentary photos of this, and then this was taken at an earlier date, and then you can see that the sky is nice, and then the multiple stations here, and then so one of these we can talk about is this is called Shang'an, and then as to why it is called Shang'an, it was originally called Shang'an, and then which sounds very similar to Shang'an, and then after phonetic evolution it became Shang'an. But as to how it became, it's like because of the low elevation in this area, it made it prone to flooding from the Yongding River, which is like nearby, a river nearby. Yeah, pictures taken in the fall season, yes. And then Another theory is that it was a ferry crossing, and then the pilgrims or monks disembarking from boats who didn't know the name just called it 上岸 meaning disembarkation, which is like, for example, if you get off a ship and then it's like, oh, you got on the shore. So 上岸 is like 上 is get on, and then 岸 is shore. And then so this is the station of getting on the shore. But now, these two characters, 上岸 has a new meaning, and then this, as to why they are holding suitcases and then wearing the graduation hats is because 上岸 is like it used to symbolize offshore. Okay, yeah, I think that makes sense. And then so 上岸 is like it symbolizes as if someone has just passed some kind of test. It's like, especially they use it during the高考, which is like the college entrance exam. And so if you got a good score, then you got on the shore, or got offshore. Yeah, so it has been used. The modern definition of it is this, and so people would visit the station during the 高考 area. Wrong wording. Okay, no problem. But they will visit the station during the 高考 times, and then they would post pictures and then as if to give them good luck during their tests. You can see there's a graduation hat, and then this is called the path of it's like the grand path of going on shore, as like the place. And so they just made it all this stuff. And it says this time you'll get on the shore, or you'll get a good score for sure. And this is another station. It's called 石场, and then the 石 is stone, and then 场 means factory. And also this place is called Stone Factory after nearby mountains rich in slate and stone, and where stone quarries were located. So it literally is a stone factory. Okay, so you can see some of the shots here, and the real change, of course. Yeah, and then it just is good to have good weather. You can see the mountains very clearly, and then it doesn't have that kind of haze around it. Okay, so we go to, oh yeah, there's some more of the line as one footage here. You can see the general feel of this area is still it's quite rural, and you can see and then a lot of production going on. Okay, and now we're gonna talk about line 2. Okay, so line 2 is China's first loop structured subway line. And then, as you can see here, it's a loop structured subway line. And it was opened on September 20th, 1984. And with blue as the color. And then we're gonna start here at This is called 车工庄, and then yeah, you can see it's quite an old station. It's got the it's had its years. And this artwork here is called Beijing Charm and Beijing Style. It features characters from Peking opera using iconic roles, and then it is they have this little saying for this. It's called 生旦净末丑. It's 5 characters along with stage and costume motives. And then so in this artwork here, there's only I think 4, and with 1 missing. And then but in general, Peking opera, also called 京剧, which is like the Beijing's opera or Peking opera, is one of China's national art forms, known for its stylized performances and distinct roles. And so this one here, this character is read as 丑. 丑 is a sort of comedic role. And then there's also 净, which is, and normally this would mean ugly, this word, and then this would mean clean. And the 净 is like paint-faced male roles. And you can see the 旦. This is read as 旦 here, and then it signifies female roles, which is these people over here. This is 生, which is normally it would mean sort of life or birth, but it signifies male roles. And then the one we're missing here is 末. 末 is like the end, sort of you would say, is like 末日 means the end days, or like the apocalypse and then Armageddon, and then but 末 means elderly male roles, so it quite literally means they're at the end of the sort of their life, is like they're elderly. I mean, they're like close to the end of their life, but not literally. Yeah, so before sort of modernization or like renovation attempt, there was no sort of barrier, this kind of barrier between the train and the station platform, and so some people will fall into the gap, and it will be very dangerous. And they also did this for Line 1 as well, because these are the 2 oldest lines in Beijing, Line 1 and Line 2. And you can see this train is the color is quite different from the normal ones, because this has a sort of special livery to it. And this is about the China Fire and Rescue, and it says always by your side. This is I don't know who wrote this sort of the characters. And sometimes they have these sort of, for example, if you take the Air China airplanes, and then you can see the writing on it, the calligraphy sort of writing on it. It was written by I think one of the Chinese chairmen. I think it was, I'm not sure. You can see the insides are also furnished, refurnished, and they have these screens, and then to signify which stations. You rarely see a very old or the original sort of these stations. It's probably just lights like the ones I showed earlier. But no, yeah, most are shown. What do you mean this one? This one is not written by someone famous, right? Or the furnishing. So you can see it comes in quite hot. It's quite fast, and then they rapidly sort of decelerate, and then and this is the Zhan is a station, not written by someone famous. Okay, that's nice to know. And then Zhan means station, and then Gong Qing Tuan, which means the Communist Youth League. Gong is like the communist, is like 共产党 is communism, or like communist party, and then so the Gong is like symbolizes the communism, or the communist party, yeah. And then the Qing is like the youth, teenagers, and then Tuan is like a squad or a team, so the Communist Youth League. These are old sort of own service booths here. And this is the way they arrange these letters is very weird. You have to read from like this, but it says 为您服务, which is at your service. 服务 means service. This is like the normal communist saying. It's like always service for someone, but you know how that goes. But I mean, I'm not gonna dive too deeply into that. And I believe these are booths where they have guards usually stationed here, and then they maybe can answer inquiries or break some fights. I don't know. And also this serves to the Universal Resort. Yeah, there's a Universal Resort in Beijing. It's quite wobbly because I have to walk quite fast, since it was at the time of massive, it's like a ton of people are transiting from line 2 to line 1, so better not sort of block their way. And also my gimbal is out of battery, so it's kind of wobbly. And so line 1, this is China's very first subway line, and it was opened on October 1st of 1969, and then its color is red. Oh yeah, so the general sort of area of line 1 is like the very, very center of Beijing. You can see the Tiananmen is right here, and then it operates 2 stations to Tiananmen, the Tiananmen West and then Tiananmen East, and you can see all of the major places are operated by line 1. And then there's the Central Business District, CBD, here, and then there's also some this is the University of Media and Communications, and then now they added the Universal Resort. So it is quite an expensive route network, all of these places. And there's the Military Museum, and then yeah, quite a lot of places offered. they have this little sort of demonstration here. There's a museum for Beijing subway, and then so this is a sort of diorama. And there's a screen showing you what not to do. It's like, for example, the door is quite closed, and then you're trying to rush on, and it can be very dangerous for other people and yourself. So they're making these sort of videos and then ads. It's like, yeah, you should not do this. And the little timeline of line 1, it begins construction in 1965, and then it is a sort of an operation in 1969, as mentioned. And I think they especially chose October 1st to operate it for the first time, because October 1st is like the July 4th of the United States. So it's the very patriotic significance. You can see the station as well. It has had better days. As the wear and tear is there. Alright, now we're going to talk about Line 11. This is Beijing's 22nd operating line, and it officially launched on December 30th of 2023. And it is the shortest subway line in the city. It spans 4 stations, and a total of 4.3 kilometers, I believe. And then you could span it all under 10 minutes. You could ride from the first station to the last station in under 10 minutes. And you can see the station has RGB and then a very modern sort of design. You can see the stations offering here. There's Moshiko, a very stylized sort of street. It's like a street, not like Nanluo, but more localized. And then there's the Jianqiu, which is the only and major sort of transition line here. And there's also Beijing, and then the Shougang, which we showed earlier, because this is in the general area, same general area as the S1 line. You can see the S1 just right by it here. You can see the S1 is in the same general area, so a lot of stations are shared. And then, yeah.
The train bound for Shougang Park. is arriving.
Yeah, a lot of people joke that this is they just built this line for the Shougang Park, which is like for the Winter Olympics, because the accents in the train, and then the station offerings, and then because it caters to the people who want to go to either this place or this place, and then rarely, and I don't think anyone gets off here, or unless they live here, and then so this is, people joke that this is a dedicated line just for the Shougang Park, and you can see the inside furnishings are, you can see the Winter Olympic accents here, the snowflakes. And then you can see the station sort of display. I like this a lot. It's like skiing, and then the stations are presented as snowflakes. And these are some of the designs in the Shougang station, which is like the flagship station of this line. And then you can see the two is like, it stacks up, it's very cohesive. You can see the arc above and then the arc below. Okay, and that's it for our video portions today. And then, but we have more. We are gonna talk about some other stations that we didn't get on video, but we're gonna do the pictures. And so we're gonna talk about Line 3 first. Line 3 is Beijing's 26th subway line, and it began construction in 2016. And then the west section of the first phase was opened on December 15th of 2024. You would think that Line 3 and it's like Line 2 and Line 1 would be the first three lines in Beijing, but I don't know what they chose with this, especially the order of it. But here is some of the designs here, and this station is called Chaoyang, which means facing the sun, and this is an area in Beijing. And then you can see the accents in this sort of station on weekday. So is this correct? Okay, that's nice to know. Yeah, and also, in Beijing or in China, there's a very specific sort of time setting here, because if you get to some place at the wrong time, it can be the sort of the experience can be heaven-like and then to abysmal. So the time of arriving at some place is very, very important. And then these photos are also courtesy of my mom. It's just a very modern style. It's like also like the Daxing airport as well. These lines are far from the downtown. Oh yeah, the lines before are far from downtown. This is quite near the downtown. This Chaoyang area. And then the inside furnishings here. You can see a little different, a little stylized. And then there's also the 工人体育场, which means the workers sort of stadium or sports stadium arena. And then they have this panda, also a train station. Okay, that's nice. That's nice to know. Something new for me here. And then the panda is kicking the ball, and this is quite an old style sort of soccer ball. And then, but they want to symbolize that people are playing sports. And this is very cute. A lot of pandas and sort of cloud accents, and especially this kind of cloud. This is called xiangyun, which quite literally means sort of auspicious clouds. And then in Chinese folklore, the sort of the legends, and then the people, like for example like Sun Wukong, which is like the legendary monkey, he would ride in on one of these, and then it's said to have good meaning. Yeah. Okay, so that's it for line 3. And then line 4 is Beijing's 9th subway line, and then a major north-south line. It opened on September 28th of 2009, and then it is a teal green color. Okay, so I'm gonna show the line 3 is located here, on the east side of Beijing, and then you can see the Chaoyang Park is offered by them as well. This is a very nice park. I love going here. And then line 4 is located here. Quite a long line. They added as like multi-stage stations. And so some of them offered is this is called Xihongmen. We just took this because we think this is, if 2 trains are here, it will look nice. And but Xihongmen means it's the red gate in the west. And then there's the Beijing University here. And then you can see that there was a collab once between Redmi, which is like the subsidiary or like sister company of Xiaomi, and then they made this collab with Harry Potter, and then they released a phone with the Harry Potter sort of style, and then they added this because in the Harry Potter lore is that if you run through a train station's wall, and then you were supposed to be transported to Hogwarts. I don't know the exact lore, I don't know, but the general area. And then the Beijing University, Beijing Zoo, and you can see that a lot of animals, the rhino, the panda, the monkey. It's quite abstract, and then it's made with mosaic. That's it. Oh yeah, line 4 is a popular line, yes. And then let's look at the line 4 station offerings. You can see a lot of stuff here. And then there's Xihongmen, the one we're talking about. And this is the New Palace, which we talked about last time. And then Beijing South Station. This is a major sort of station hub in Beijing. It's like Grand Central Station in New York, or the United States. And Xidan, this is a very central place. If you could see, it's also operated by Line 1, which you could tell is a very important spot. And then the zoo, and then the National Library, the People's University, and then there's also Peking University, the Summer Palace, and then so it's quite a popular route during the summer break or the winter break. A lot of people will take this route. Okay, so we covered line 6, but yeah, and then we're gonna talk about line 7 now. Line 7 is the 17th subway line, and they're fully operational from August 26, 2021, and it includes a station serving the Universal Resort, and then its color is light orange. Line 7 here. Quite a long line as well, and then you can see they added this because there's a curve. It's like a natural curve here, but they added this afterward. Okay, and this place is called Baizi one, or Baizi one, because they want to make a sound. It's like with the sort of inflection change, it sounds more natural. But this in general, if you translate it directly, it means the Bay of 100 Suns. And then so it was located around along Baizi One Road, originally a winding dirt road. And then another theory says the area was once a low-lying and only fit for growing barnyard grass, which is read as Baizi in Chinese. And then it evolved phonetically into the Bay of 100 Suns. And then the thing with the suns in Beijing, in China, is that if a man and a woman marry, and then the man's surname is like Zhang, for example, and then the woman's surname is Wang, the woman doesn't need to follow the man's surname as like in Western countries they do, but the son or daughter has to follow the father's surname. So everyone wants a son because they can pass on their surname so this way. And that this kind of desire for a son or a male child to pass on their surname is reaching it can be very overwhelming, and then many families are destroyed because of this, and it's very sad. But now sometimes they have some people are trying to break surname last name. Oh yeah, true. Yeah, it works differently in the adolescence. Okay, I'm not gonna comment about that. But yeah, you get the idea. It is a very sort of evil desire, and then, but sometimes people are trying. Now people are trying. Maybe a few families are trying. Is like they're letting the child follow the mother's surname, or like if it is a girl, it follows the mother's surname, and then if it's a boy, it follows the father's surname, or the other way around. But they're trying a lot of ways to sort of, it's like another way of doing things. And then the other one is 磁气口, 磁气口, which is like the gate of the metallic or magnetic objects. And then this is a cultural wall titled Dream of the Red Chamber, and then or 红楼梦, as better known in China. And then it is a very famous novel. And then in China there are four famous novels, and then most people have read it. And there's the Journey to the West. There's the 红楼梦, and then there's also two I can't come up names with in English. But yes, this is quite famous, and you can see the 红楼梦 inscription here. And so Dream of the Red Chamber, and it features 10 panels, and then 8 character scenes from the classic novel, along with an opening and closing panel. And then each group of characters is framed with Qing Dynasty screen shapes, this shape. And then set against the backgrounds of text from the novel. You can see the text, they quoted it from the novel. And then the wall combines traditional lacquer work with modern materials and a layered aluminum structure. So yeah, and this is the other characters. 磁气口, and some Chinese style architecture. So line 8, and then line 8 is the 6th subway line to become operational. And then we're gonna first look at this place is called 金鱼胡同, which is like the goldfish, the hutong of the goldfish. And then so this painting is called Abundance Year After Year, and then the mural depicts koi fish joyfully swimming in rippling water, and then made with mosaic inlays. Wikipedia, Dream of the Red Chamber, or the story of the stone is an 18th century Chinese novel authored by Cao Xuejin, yes, and considered to be one of the 4 great classical novels of Chinese literature. It is known for its psychological scope and its observation on the worldviews, aesthetics, lifestyles, and social relations of high China. Okay, that's nice. Nice thing to share. Thank you to CN275. That's some more sort of factual stuff instead of my own understanding. That's nice. And then so this is called Abundance Year After Year, and then it's made with mosaics. And so the fish and the water symbolize good fortune and prosperity in Chinese culture, expressing hopes for a happy life. Especially this koi fish and the carp we showed earlier. These fish, they have auspicious meaning. See some more of the fish. And so this is another station, Wangfujing, which is like the well of the royal family for China. And then this mural is called Ancient Royal Charm of Wangfu, and it shows the historical royal mansions and markets of the Wangfujing area. And it uses symmetrical composition and traditional gold leaf lacquer techniques, evoking nostalgia and cultural pride. Yeah, you can see the colors and this kind of sort of, they fashioned this arch beam to look like a traditional Chinese architecture piece. and this place is called the forest, because these two are connected essentially, because the Olympic Park and the Olympic sort of park is like forest side, these are connected. And then so this is the forest section of the park, and you can see trees resemblance, and then especially the trees here. I think these are stickers on the windows, on the glass. And this is the Olympic Park, and then the people are running, and then one road, one dream, and this is connecting to the 2008 Olympic Games hosted in Beijing. And then this station is called 火箭, which is rocket, and 万元 means like a lot of it's like the origins of the rockets are from this place, and they have this little rocket sort of display here. This is our last station for line 8, and this is called 鼓楼, which means drum tower, and you can see some letters engraved in here, and it's in the distance it looks like a drum. It looks like drums. And line 10. Line 10 is the Beijing second loop line, and the first one being line 2, covered earlier, and it is the busiest line in the system, marked by sky blue. So this place is called Suzhou Jie, which means like the street of Suzhou, which is a place in China to the south of Beijing. You can see the architecture here is resembling to that place. It is a very pretty place. And you can see this is another specific architectural style in China. There are, I think, 8 architectural styles, and there's the Beijing one, which is shown the most on my channel or here. And this is to the south. This is called the Hui, which is like for Anhui, and then the general area around it shares this kind of style. And then line 12. Line 12 is Beijing's 26th subway line, and then the first phase is opened on December 15th, 2024. This is a sort of new. And then the Jiangtai, this place is called Jiangtai West Station, and then it is named for being in the western part of the Jiangtai Township. And in the Tang Dynasty, General Xue Rengui, or like set up a military camp here before his expedition to Liaodong, which is I think the east of Liaoning, a province to the north of Beijing. And then so in 1368, Prime Minister Xu Da also stationed troops here, and Emperor Yongle later used this site during the Jingnan campaign. And then so you can see some of the fish here. And this is another station. This is called Tuanjiehu, which means the Unity Lake, or Lake of Unity, and it was reshaped from old clay pits by citizens in 1958. And then this is it's like a watercolor painting, and then because in this lake you can see the central business district area. You can see this is the China Zun, which is the tallest building in Beijing, and there's also some other slightly shorter ones. And here as well. There's a New Year setting, and then there's snow, and then there's the couplets. There's the sort of the paper sticker here, and then the lantern, and then there's a snowman, and then these are sort of wine storage bins, and then the Chinese high-speed railway system, and then the mountains as well. Oh, and this is just a modern sort of polygon style decoration, and this is called Xi Bahe, which is the west of the Bahe, which is like we'll show more of the area later. But and so we're gonna talk about line 14. Line 14 is Beijing's 16th subway line to open, and then some of the stuff here. It's not necessarily stylized after the station. They just made these to be decorations, like these. This is unrelated to this place called Fangzhuang. They just made it to look pretty. And then some more of the flowers and the nature. Birds as well. birds in it. It's a very abstract kind of painting. And this is in Wangjing. Wangjing is like a very international area to the northeast of is like in the northeast area of Beijing, and a lot of Koreans live here. And there's some stations like this. It's called Lai Guangying. It has animals, and then here. And then Futong has these paintings. I think these are individually painted by people, and then they stuck it on the wall to have that kind of personality. Yep. So yeah, that's line 14. And line 15 is the 10th line to become operational in Beijing, and sort of this art, this piece of art is from the Tsinghua station. Tsinghua is like the sort of the best or the top university in China, alongside Peking University. And then so this art is titled Student Memories, and then it blends exhibition design and and interactive art, and then transforming the public space into a mini gallery, evoking the joy and warmth of student life. You can see the library scenes, and then bicycles, and then the woods, and telephone booths. These are quite old. It's like the sort of old generation of Chinese students will be very accustomed to this. The dorms here, and then a desk setting, computers, keyboards, and yeah. And line 17 is Beijing's 22nd subway line, and the last subway line we're gonna cover for today. And so it is this is called 工人体育场, which is like the workers sort of stadium, and this can connect to the station we just looked at before, but this is a modern style instead of the ones with the panda doing sports. And this is our last station, and then this is called Xibahe, which is like the west of the Bahe station, and it is artwork titled Light and Shadow of Bahe, and then draws inspiration from Bahe river culture. And a Bahe is sort of, it means a ba is like a dam, and then it's like a river formed by the dam, and then it draws inspiration from the river culture, and then it uses fish and imagery taken from ancient jade artifacts, and then harmonize with the interior to create a cohesive artistic piece. You can see the quite abstract fish shapes. Okay, so that is it for our stream today, and then thank you for tuning on. And then one thing to note is that we will not be streaming next week for July 2nd, I believe. We will not be streaming that, or July 1st, depending on your time zone. July 1st if you're in the US, and then July 2nd if you're in Asia or the area around it. But yes, we will not be streaming next week, and then after that, on July 9th or 10th, everything will be back to normal. July 9th or July 8th, yeah. So yeah, thanks for tuning on, and then have a good evening. Bye bye.